Hello folks, welcome to Action Angling, yet another confessional video sitting on my couch. Oh, I don't like doing these, but this one's one we got to talk about, because 2 days ago I almost died. And I don't mean that in any sort of clickbaity title sort of way. I was minutes from death. Out ice fishing, warm day, nothing I haven't done before. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, why were you ice fishing when it was warm out? Why were you by yourself? Blah, blah, blah. So let's clear all that up. Number one, I'm not a great storyteller, so try to bear with me here. Storytelling is a great skill that I do not possess. But here's what happened from the horse's mouth. In order to stay safe, to try and stay safe on a warm day, it was about 8 degrees out, Celsius. So let's just stick to the channels. We'll stay to the channels on Lake Erie, Long Point Bay, and we're just gonna fish for bluegills and see whatever else comes up. It was me and my friend David. David's been on the channel a bunch of times, so I wasn't alone. So we fished. We had a great day. We were out from about 9:30 in the morning until later on in the afternoon. About 20 minutes to 5, David gets a phone call from a female friend of his, and she wants to have dinner with him. And he says, so I'm going to leave at 5 o'clock. Like, all right, I'm going to stick it out another hour, because it doesn't get dark till about 6:30, 7 o'clock now. And by the way, we had drilled about 25 holes that day. The ice wasn't sinking. We were on over 12 inches of ice. Like, everything was good. Seemed good anyway. And I really didn't think there was anything to worry about. But I mean, that's when it hits you, of course. But so David leaves at 5 o'clock, and I stuck out my extra hour, and I got a bunch of fish, and I was feeling pretty good about having a great day. And the sun was starting to go down, and I said, all right, it's time to pack up and get out of here. Put all my stuff on my sled, start heading out the exact trail that we walked in on. And in fact, I could see, we both wear cleats, so I could see David's tracks of where he had walked in and out to the ramp to get out off the water. Following behind him, I leave the slip that we were in, walked about 20 feet, and that's when it happened. The ice broke out from under me. Didn't expect it in a million years. I thought everything was fine, but it was just a weak spot. Okay, so I've fallen through more than a handful of times in my life. 3 times that I was over my head. This was the first time it actually ever happened in warm weather. It's always, every other time it's been mid-ice, and 2 of the times were 3 feet of ice that I fell through, and I just hit a spring. So I know what to do. Okay, so I know to, number one, take a deep breath. Okay, kind of assess the situation. I'm in the water now. This sucks. Stay calm. I had my ice picks on. By chance, because actually I'm pretty bad for not wearing them. I usually keep them in my sled for some reason. I'm like, that's going to help. But I actually had them on me because it was a warm day and things can happen. So I did what I was supposed to do. I calmed down, turned myself in the hole to where I had just come from, used my ice picks, climbed back out on my belly, spread my weight out. But it's a lot of weight, and I just busted through again. Again, I went back, trying to go back the way I came, because I had just walked on that ice. That must be okay, in theory. And again, got myself up on the ice. I'm thinking I gotta be good from here, and then I'm just thinking I just gotta find an exit point now that's safer than this, and go to get up, and the ice breaks out one more time. When you're freezing cold, that was all of the energy I had in me. I could not do it again. So now I'm treading water. I did try a couple more times to get up, but I wasn't even getting close to getting back up on that ice anymore, and it was probably just going to keep breaking anyway. So there it was. Man, this is bad because nobody's around. Like that place is a ghost town for this time of year. Midweek, it wasn't like it was a weekend. There was no other fishermen out there, and all I could do was just start screaming. I was screaming for my life. And I'm sorry if I break down, because this was the worst one. This was the worst one, and I was screaming for a long time. When I went in, it was 10 to 5 or 10 to 6, sorry, and by the time I got out, it was past 6:30. So I was in for about 40 minutes. Thank the Lord Jesus Christ that some people were walking actually quite a ways away. They heard me yelling for help. They themselves could not help me. They were kind of older people, and they weren't prepared. They didn't have a rope or anything. But they called 911, and they got an ambulance there. Thank God. And the guy came out and he said, we called to get you some help, so just hang on. And I was like, please hurry. Like, I've been in here a long time, and by that point my breathing is getting shallower and I know what's happening. And he kind of took off running, and he got two of the people that owned the property I was in front of. They had ropes. It took them a little while to toss the rope to me. One of them actually, he jumped down at the edge of the ice and he fell through, but it was only up to his knees, so he was okay. He climbed back up. They got the rope to me. They pulled me through. This part gets a little bit sketchy in my memory because I was starting to fade out. But they got the rope around me, and they got me to shore. And then from there, they didn't know how they're going to get me up over the wall. They ended up throwing a picnic table face down into the water so it could spread my weight out. I somehow climbed onto that picnic table, and from there, I was close enough to the top of the wall. They wrapped the rope around a tree for some leverage, and they pulled me up onto the shore. And that's when the ambulance showed up. Thank God. Like, right then, thank God. And by that point, I wasn't able to get a breath at all. Like, I was, minutes from death. I'm telling you. And I thought it was over. They got me in the ambulance, took me to the hospital, got me all warmed up. And anyways, that's the end of the story of actually falling through. Those people that saved my life are literal angels. They're angels on earth. And I'll always be grateful. I owe them my life. I get to see my family again because of them. Sorry. Sorry. So this isn't meant to be like a pity party. It's just sort of a cautionary tale. I've been ice fishing for 30 years and fallen through a bunch of times, and like I said, I know what to do when you fall through, but it just, that situation was different for whatever reason. The ice was weak there, and you never know where there's going to be a weak spot. So, I mean, number one, for me, I'm never going ice fishing. I don't care if I got a floater suit and a canoe with me. I'm not going ice fishing ever again when it's over like 5 degrees outside for a full day, no matter how good the ice seems. And I've been on that ice many times throughout the winter, so I knew how thick it was. But you just never know. And so my life lessons, number one, I'm never going ice fishing again without a floater suit. That's the first thing I'm buying next winter. Maybe even earlier, because I could use it in my boat, in March and April too, because that'd be just as bad of a situation if you fall in an open water. So I'm going to see how quickly I can get myself a floater suit. But, springtime, I'm shore fishing. It's a little bit less of a risk. It still can be a risk, but it's less of a risk. Floater suit would have saved my life. Or, yeah, probably would have saved my life, because I would have been able to at least keep pulling myself forward till I got to the shore. What I would have done from there, I don't know, but it would have kept me dry enough that I probably wouldn't have gone hypothermic like I was, and I probably would have made it out if I had had a floater suit on. Ice picks, ice picks are a great idea, but you know what? The ice was so soft that the ice picks weren't gripping that well. I mean, it was way better than my hands, obviously, but it was just like going into slush. I could jam that thing in there as hard as I wanted, and it would just slide back because the ice was getting so soft on the top. But still, I mean, have ice picks. It's cheap, it's easy, and have them on you. First ice, I always carry a spud bar. I don't know if that would have saved, like, helped me in this situation because I would have spudded and been like, no, there's 10 inches of ice, like it's fine. I would have just kept walking. So I don't think a spud bar would have changed my mind at all about walking that path back in. And David had just walked there. I'm a heavier guy than he is, probably twice as heavy as he is, but still, I mean, it didn't crack or creak when he walked over it. He would have told me. So, um, yeah, I don't know if a spud bar would have. First ice is definitely the best idea, but yeah, generally, I'm just not going to risk going out in warm weather anymore. So, I was feeling great about. We had caught so many fish that day, and feeling great about the great day on the ice, and then that happened. That just changed everything. As far as me now, it's been 2 days. Serious muscle aches because I was like exhausting myself, both trying to get up on the ice and just shivering, trying to stay alive. Kicking my feet to stay up to the surface. Pretty much feels like I ran a marathon, which I clearly don't do very often. But otherwise, I'm fine, and I feel like I kind of got off scot free. I lost all my fishing gear. They recovered what they could, but they didn't talk to me about getting it back to me, and I really don't care. Like, if they want to keep every last bit of what they pull out, by all means, take it. And I have reached out to these two men that they helped me out, and I tried to offer them something. I'm like, let me repay you in some way, and they don't. They don't want anything. They were literal angels, man. They don't want anything. I'm still gonna give them something. Gonna go see them in person one day. Maybe they like beer. Who doesn't around these parts? Maybe stop in and give them a couple cases of beer or something. Because they. What can I possibly give them to replace my life, right? But they deserve something. Cause they didn't have to do that. They're probably sitting at home having dinner and end up going out and saving some guy's life. So as far as the gear goes, I've had a bunch of people that have more literal angels on Earth, offering to restock my ice fishing equipment. I'm not saying yes to anything until next season because I'm not in a rush to go out ice fishing anymore, and I'm not there is no ice now. So whatever. I'm gonna go to various shows throughout the year and probably get some used ice fishing gear. And when the season comes up, we'll see what I actually need for ice fishing, and I might reach out to some of these people that have offered me stuff. Thank you so much if you're one of the people who did offer me any ice gear. You don't have to do that. You're amazing people too. Thank you to everybody who just reached out and they were concerned. There's always one guy every year, and it was me this year. And luckily, I wasn't an obituary. Could have been worse. Definitely could have been worse. So, anyways, this video's going on 15 minutes now. I just wanted to tell the story from my point of view, and hopefully it's a cautionary tale to anyone else thinking about doing some warm weather ice fishing. Just maybe think twice. Anyways, hopefully the next video is actual fishing footage. I'm a little I don't know the word. I don't know if I want to post any of my ice fishing footage at this point. I don't know if I want to look at my ice fishing footage at this point. It's a little traumatic now. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep ice fishing. hopefully for the rest of my, at least 20 more years of life. I'm just going to be more careful about it. But right at this moment, I don't really even want to have to sit there and watch footage of me on that ice. So I don't know if I'm going to post the ice fishing videos. That I might post them next winter when people are actually ice fishing again. So I'm going to get out and film some open water stuff as soon as I'm feeling okay. Right now I can barely move my arms, so not doing much, but I think within a week I'll be good to go do some open water stuff and actually post some footage again. And thanks guys, thanks for watching the video and hearing my story, and I hope that you are all, take it to heart and don't take chances, because that could have been, man, that could have been the end of my life, and it's so hard to even think about that right now. And that same night, I was back at home, playing with my daughter, and obviously not in great shape, but man, it can all be taken away in an instant just from a stupid mistake. So, thank you very much, guys. I love you. See you next time.